In Florida, and in some parts of the Caribbean coast, you can find an unusual tree. Externally, it doesn't look special at all. A gray trunk, green leaves, and fruit similar to small apples. What you must remember is never to pluck these apples, and never stand next to the tree, especially if it's raining. This is the manchineel tree, which is considered the most dangerous in the world. Its trunk, bark, branches, and fruit contain poisonous juice. One drop of this corrosive acidic liquid can harm your skin. A lot. The tree can secrete this juice, and if you accidentally touch it, you risk burning your hand. When it rains, water droplets fall on the tree and mix with the poison. Water can also bounce off the bark and get on your skin. That's why you shouldn't stand nearby, either. There are almost no other shrubs or mushrooms growing around. Animals avoid these trees, and people don't chop them and don't pluck the fruit. You can't make a bonfire from their branches. Burning wood emits poisonous smoke that can damage your eyes. Locals know this tree well, but tourists and travelers might accidentally get harmed. That's why most manchineel trees are marked with paint or have a warning sign. To see the next amazing tree, we need to visit the wettest place on Earth. Welcome to the village of Mawsynram in India. The Bay of Bengal isn't that far away, and all the moisture that condenses there moves toward the village. Because of this, the village literally lives in a huge wet cloud. Downpours rarely stop here. Interestingly, people have adapted to life in such a place. They walk and work under special homemade umbrellas made of reeds. But the coolest thing is bridges. They're built so that people can move around the village. Because of the endless rains, it's impossible to construct ordinary bridges and roads here. Building materials simply don't have time to solidify. Water erodes them and turns them into porridge. Luckily, there's very rich vegetation in that area. For example, Indian rubber trees. Their strong roots grow not underground, but on the surface. With the help of special frames and fasteners, people have learned to control how these roots grow. Let's say a tree is next to a small pit. You need to make a bridge from one end of this pit to the other. You direct the growing tree roots in the needed direction. Over time, the roots penetrate the ground and strengthen under endless downpours. It takes about 15 years to create one bridge. One of the most colorful trees in the world grows in the warm rainforests of Southeast Asia. Unlike other trees with colorful leaves, this one has a colorful, bright trunk. From a distance, it seems as if someone has spilled different paints on the tree. The colors shimmer like drops of gasoline on asphalt. The pattern is so beautiful and bright that it's difficult to believe that nature did this. The tree is called the rainbow eucalyptus. The colors on its trunk are constantly changing, depending on the time of year. At first, there are more bright green shades. Then they're replaced with red, orange, and purple. The last color is brown, and then this colorful cycle repeats. The next tree grows in the U.S. To find it, you'll need to drive along Vashon Highway. The road is surrounded by dense forest. Keep going until you see a bus stop. Then it's time to make your way through the thicket. Bushes, dirt, branches, birdsong, and that's it! You notice quite an ordinary tree. There are hundreds of similar trees around you, but look up and you'll see why this one is so unique. A rusty red bicycle is stuck inside the trunk. It looks as if it's grown into the tree, literally. One wheel and a handlebar are still visible, while everything else is swallowed by the tree. Now the bike looks like part of the forest. The tree has been growing this way for more than 50 years. It all started in 1954. One boy got a bicycle, but he was not very happy about the gift because of its thin tires and uncomfortable handlebars. One day, the boy forgot the bike in the forest when he was playing there with his friends. He just left it leaning against a young tree and went home. The tree continued to grow, and sometime later, the bike became a part of it. The largest trees in the world are redwoods, and one of them, a giant sequoia, is the largest of them all. It grows in California's Sequoia National Park. The tree is called General Sherman, and it's more than 2,000 years old. The volume of this tree is 52,500 cubic feet, which is about half the size of an Olympic swimming pool. A house with several bedrooms, bathrooms, and a spacious living room would easily fit inside the tree. Despite its age, General Sherman is far from the oldest tree. In the park, there are redwoods that are more than 3,000 years old. The tallest tree in the world grows in California, too. It also belongs to the sequoia family. It's called Hyperion, and its height reaches 380 feet. That's 1/3 of the Eiffel Tower's height. The oldest tree in the world is the Great Basin bristlecone pine. It's almost 5,000 years old. It was already growing during the times of ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. But not many people have seen this tree. It might be one of the reasons why it survived to this day. The tree grows in harsh conditions. It's been hit by strong cold winds for thousands of years. But this has only made its wood more durable. Also, because of bad weather conditions, the tree has been growing very slowly, which also contributed to its longevity. Thanks to the slow growth and dense wood, now the pine isn't afraid of insects, fungi, rotting, or erosion. And the lack of vegetation around the bristlecone pine makes it protected from forest fires. Its exact location is kept secret from the public, so that no one can harm the tree. By the way, trees appeared on our planet about 385 million years ago. Some of them are still growing in colonies that clone themselves. It means that in place of an old tree, a new one appears, and it has a similar genetic structure. Nowadays, there are trees whose family lines began in the times of dinosaurs. These trees look like they've been ripped up out of the ground, turned upside down, and planted again. Baobabs are some of the most beautiful trees in the central part of southern Africa. Their branches grow in such an unusual way because they're too thin for the wide girth of the tree. These trees' trunks resemble sponges. They expand and absorb moisture during the rainy season. Elephants drink this moisture during a drought. They tear off parts of the tree to quench their thirst. At night, flowers bloom on baobabs. They smell like sour milk and attract bats. This tree looks like a bottle. No wonder it's called the bottle tree. It grows in Namibia and attracts many tourists. But don't get too close to the tree because it's one of the most dangerous on Earth. Milky juice flows inside the trunk. It's highly toxic to the human body. But on the bright side, the trees have beautiful pink-white leaves with a red core. There's a tree growing in Western Australia that was once used as a prison. A cell for criminals existed inside the Boab prison tree for a long time. People were usually kept there temporarily, just for one night. After that, they were taken to their final destination. The prison was built more than 1,500 years ago and has been perfectly preserved to this day. Tourists visiting this place can sneak a peek inside. One of the most amazing trees in the world is called the Tree of Life. It grows in Bahrain's desert. The tree has been standing on top of this sandy hill for more than 400 years, surrounded by miles of sand. It's extremely hot here, and there's no moisture. But despite this, the tree has green leaves and continues to grow. So far, scientists haven't figured out yet how the tree gets moisture and nutrients. There are only places with oil deposits around. Locals think the tree is sacred. After all, it demonstrates the magic of life and the power of nature. Some scientists are sure that it's all about the roots. They go so deep that they can reach underground sources of water.